Welcome to Canada Files. I'm Valerie Pringle. Louise Penny has written 18 New York Times best-selling murder mysteries published in 31 languages. Her character, Inspector Armand Gamache, beat out Sherlock Holmes and Hercule Poirot in a recent Washington Post survey of beloved detectives. Her books have also been made into a TV miniseries, and she has written a best-selling political thriller with Hillary Rodham Clinton called State of Terror. Remarkable accomplishments for a woman who had almost given up on life in her 30s. Louise Penny, hello.
Valerie, hi. Oh, it's been years, hasn't it?
I know. Lovely to see you.
We have not changed.
No, we haven't changed a bit.
A bit.
You know,
We're still delusional.
I was reading the intro you wrote, maybe later to another version of Still Life, your very first book. And you're saying, when I was 35, I thought the best was behind me. I was lonely, tired, and empty, plodding through life. And I'm thinking, you know, you're 64 now with 18 some bestsellers, a life full of joy. You know, how did you turn that around? What happened?
You know what happened? I got sober.
You were alcoholic?
I was, and I'm still. I mean, I'm not an active alcoholic. But I will always have that in me. So I'm in recovery, as they say. So that's what happened. It's such a thief. I mean, it stole all my will to live. It stole my connection to other human beings. It stole much of my humanity. It hollowed me out. And what finally brought me to my knees, I mean, was the alcohol, certainly, but it was loneliness. It was the aching emptiness that I felt, this chasm inside me. And I was 35. I wasn't even halfway through life.
But you said you were always nervous, anxious, timid. Was alcohol your, which it often is, treatment for that? Did it mask another mental illness, or?
I'm not sure it did, because once I got sober, there was no depression. It wasn't. I honestly don't know. I don't know whether I was just predisposed to it. I think it was in the family. I think my father was probably an alcoholic. And I remember looking in the mirror, and when I was 21, 22, about the time I started drinking heavily, and remembering my father, who had passed away by then of pancreatic cancer, but I don't think the drinking helped. And I said, looking myself in the mirror in Toronto, I had just started at the CBC, and saying, I am never going to turn into my father. I am never going to. And of course, I was well on my way to actually having it happen. The interesting thing is that in the program that I subsequently joined that saved my life, there's a phrase I'm sure you've heard, the grateful alcoholic. And I'm grateful for all that pain and that loneliness, because it made me so much more compassionate and understanding of other people, and the thing that had separated me from others ended up bonding me to other people.
Well, and you talk about you can't understand or appreciate the light until you've lived in the darkness.
Right, and there's the line from Auden that informs all the books, and the starting point was, goodness existed, that was the new knowledge, his terror had to blow itself quite out to let him see it. And I had lived in terror for many, many years, just afraid of everything, and finally afraid that people would find out that I was an alcoholic, and just afraid of life, afraid of everything.
There are a couple of interesting things. I mean, at the time you were working as a journalist, radio host, ostensibly really successful and
fully functioning.
Yeah.
Yes, and I've
so
discovered
appearances and reality.
Yeah. Which also, again, sort of informs the books, that duality, and that the more shiny the veneer was, the darker the interior was, the sicker the interior was, and the need then to construct an even more happy and joyous exterior, which, you know, they talk about the least happy people in the world are probably those with the biggest gap between the appearance and the reality.
And then you met your husband.
Yes.
Michael.
Yeah. And I went from, within 9 months, I went from wanting and thinking I was going to kill myself. And it wouldn't be a cry for help. It would be, and this is one of the many reasons I am in favor of gun control and a big advocate of it, is knowing that if there had been a gun in the house, I would have done it. I know I would have done it. I have no doubt at all, because I had no reason or desire to live.